The most recent blatant murder was Renee Good. She's not the only murder. She is not the only victim. I'm going to read for you word for word. The term terrorist is generally defined as a person who uses violence or the threat of violence to create fear and alarm with the intent of coercing or intimidating the public or an international organization to achieve political, religious, or ideological objectives. Key elements of this definition include the use or threat of violence. So threatening people, ICE agents threatening people, shooting them in the face, murdering them, killing them, slamming them to the ground, putting their knees on people's necks if they don't have papers on them. The goal of creating fear, the use of violence or the threat of violence. Those are ICE agents in this country. These are terrorists. These are things that ICE agents are saying. Haven't you learned what can happen to you if you don't comply, do what I tell you to do? So it's a goal of creating fear. The acts are calculated to provoke a state of terror beyond the immediate victims, affecting a wider target audience or the general public. This is 100% what ICE is doing, what our government, what Donald Trump is doing. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Rachel Fiori, and I am calling out to all of you revolutionaries out there. You know who you are, even if you're afraid to admit it yet. But yeah, I want to talk to you about ICE. I want to talk to you about the terrorists that are in this country, including the United States government, because they're a bunch of terrorists. And I want to talk to you first about the definition of terrorists, because I'm going to read for you word for word so that you understand what is really happening in this country, our new, Nazi America that's evolving. So the term terrorist is, I'm going to read for you word for word, is generally defined as a person who uses violence or the threat of violence to create fear and alarm with the intent of coercing or intimidating a government, the public, or an international organization to achieve political, religious, or ideological objectives. Look it up yourselves. Key elements of this definition include the use or threat of violence. So threatening people, ICE agents threatening people, shooting them in the face, murdering them, killing them, slamming them to the ground, putting their knees on people's necks if they don't have papers on them, and all the different things that they're doing, using the use of violence or the threat of violence. Those are ICE agents in this country. People in other countries know these tactics very well. These are terrorists. Here's another key element of this definition: the goal of creating fear. So we have seen videos of ICE agents after, I've seen a lot of them after the most recent murder, which might not be the most recent murder by the time this is released. Do you understand? As I'm recording this, the most recent blatant murder was Renee Good. She's not the only murder. She is not the only victim. They've murdered a handful. But the goal of creating fear, so even just since that, as I'm recording this, the most recent murder of Renee Good, um, threatening people, didn't you learn already what just happened? These are things that ICE agents are saying. Haven't you learned what can happen to you if you don't comply, do what I tell you to do? Things like this are being stated. And of course, they're being recorded and filmed saying all this stuff, and everybody's posting it on social media. So it's a goal of creating fear. The acts are calculated to provoke a state of terror beyond the immediate victims, affecting a wider target audience or the general public. This is 100% what ICE is doing, what our government, what Donald Trump is doing by deploying these fucking sociopaths all over the place who have no control of themselves, who threaten people, who intimidate, create fear. And then there's political or ideological motivation. The violence is committed in furtherance of a specific cause, political, religious, social, etc., to influence policy or government conduct. Do you understand what what the words are that I just said to you? Now, there are still, I cannot even understand and comprehend the degree of brainwashing and mind control. These dumb fucktard MAGA followers, they're all part of a cult. All of this is a cult. It is like a Nazi American cult run by violent, sadist, murderers, predators, pedophiles, sex offenders, rapists, etc., etc. Um, it's a violent, sadistic cult, and it's time. They're filled with terrorists. Literal definition of what a terrorist is. And then here's the narcissistic gaslighting. These terrorists who fit the definition to a T are the ones gaslighting everybody in their narcissism and psychopathy of the innocent victims and civilians that they're just snatching up off the street, brutalizing, beating up, raping, killing in some cases, threatening, invoking fear in them and a wider, audience. They call them terrorists. They call them the criminals. This is the severe gaslighting. And this is a system of patriarchy. This is what you get in patriarchy. Dictatorships all over the fucking world throughout history. Sadists all over the world misleading people throughout history. Genocide throughout history. War, violence throughout history. So these things are happening. They have been happening. And they're going to continue to happen when you have patriarchal leaders in a patriarchal system and a patriarchal society. This is what you get. This is what you get. And let me tell you the glorious thing. It's being demolished, it's being dismantled, and we can continue to rise up and make that happen. It's up to us to make it happen. This isn't a passive process. I've said this enough times on here. You should know that by now. Passivity, you're on the wrong side. You're on the side of evil if you're a pacifist, quote unquote. But the scenarios that are playing out, that have been playing out for centuries, decades. This isn't new, unfortunately. This is what you get when you tolerate governmental systems in place. This is what you get when you agree and consent to being a slave of these systems and do nothing about it. And it isn't just about changing policy or changing the leaders, for example. Do you understand? I keep trying to hit it home to you all. The entire system is based on a violent, misogynistic, narcissistic, psychopathic level of consciousness that is sadistic, violent. Do you comprehend? These are not just a few individuals that when these psychopathic leaders, of global leaders of the whole world, who are enslaving all sentient beings, torturing sentient beings, raping, murdering sentient beings, animals, Mother Earth herself, humans, children, women, men. The whole fucking system is that system that is a patriarchal system. Do you understand? Like, is it going to hit home enough to realize that a patriarchal system benefits nobody other than the sadistic psychopaths that run the system? So when the entire global system is run like this, then how are children going to be raised and brought up? What kind of brainwashing, what kind of conditioning, what kind of programming is put in them so that they cannot function in healthy, loving relationships, business, romantic, familial, friendship, or otherwise? You can't live in loving, supportive, safe communities when people are raised in systems like this, because they become what the system brainwashes them and conditions them to become. So you might not be an ICE agent out there terrorizing other people, but you are the terrorist in your own romantic relationship because you're the narcissist who's unsafe and scary and loses his shit. Do you understand? Micro is the macro, macro is the micro. This is the kind of enlightened education and also the teaching of how to get the fuck out of it that we offer at Masters of Self University. It is time to be educated for real. And that isn't gaining a bunch of knowledge. It's shifting and elevating out of, putting an end to, not just what you see out there, what you've become in here. Because both are a mirror reflection of each other. When you are an unsafe person to be friends with, when you're an unsafe fucking person to be married to, when you are an unsafe boss to lead in your organization, your company, or wherever you work, when you are an unsafe, emotionally, psychologically unsafe person, maybe a physically unsafe person, maybe you are an objectifier, maybe you're a racist, maybe you're a misogynist, maybe you're things that you don't want to admit and realize, but you think you're entitled to have a safe and loving relationship, friendship, partnerships in business. And yet, literally, those things don't function that way when you yourself carry the programming to lesser degrees that you see out there. And the brainwashing and the mind control and the complete disconnect, this is what unconsciousness is, spiritually unawakened people. You don't think what you see out there is a reflection of you in any way, shape, or form. That's how we will never change any of it until we can get to a level where we choose to evolve. Evolution is not passive. The entitlement has got to go. Thinking you deserve shit when you haven't yet become it yourself. Fuck you. This is why we see the violence in the fucking world right now. The level of entitlement, I don't care where you're from, is off the damn charts. How dare you think you deserve to be in a community that is safe and healthy and supportive of you when you can't create that in your own goddamn family or in your own household or with your own, dog? Like, literally, you could live alone with your dog and you're shitty to your dog. You're not the way of selfless service. You're not the way of unconditional love. You don't provide enough exercise, and then you wonder why the dogs chew shit up. And then you wonder why the world looks the way the world looks. Micro is macro, macro is micro. Do you comprehend this? Stimulate. Do the mental activities. Your dog needs to work. Your dog isn't a fucking stuffed animal. And here's what's crazy. If you cannot connect the dots of the example I'm giving you, that has nothing to do with Trump and ICE. It has every fucking thing to do with everything. And that's the problem. That's the unconscious fucktard who thinks they know more than they do. And also, I guarantee you, you're the fucking entitled one as well, thinking you deserve more in your life, in your relationship, and yet you're unwilling to fucking change and see where you're the goddamn terrorist in your own life and to others. How are you making things unsafe? Let me tell you something. I see a ton of relationships ending right now. Tons. 25 going into year 26. Are you kidding me? Done. Because they cannot function the way they used to be. We're elevating. They cannot function in terror anymore. If you're not fucking safe 100% of the time, your relationships are done. If you are in a corporation, a job, an organization where your manager, your boss, or people around you are not safe people, you're going to quit or you're going to get fired. None of that's negative. That relationship is over. Guess what? When we evolve and become powerful enough to look in the sacred mirror that we need to look at and say, how am I terrorizing my own inner child by refusing to fucking heal my inner child wounds? How am I the terrorist to my inner child wounds? How am I the terrorist to my cat, my dog, when I'm unsafe and I'm scary to them because of my energy? How am I the terrorist to my spouse, my partner, to my children? How am I the terrorist to my neighbors? How am I the terrorist to other people driving on the highway when I get fucking out of control and have road rage? You're a fucking terrorist, and you're seeing that energy out there. This is what oneness means. It's time to elevate higher and get out of the fucking entitlement that we think we deserve better when we're the same ones that are absolutely refusing to heal the fucking scary shit that we hold inside of ourselves and we project onto other people. A narcissistic patriarchal system creates narcissists that are entitled, that terrorize, that make everybody around them feel fucking unsafe to be near them. And they're the same people that think they deserve love and nurturing and support. That is our fucking country. That is our government. That is the whole patriarchal system. And then it is also almost all individuals. We are drowning in victim consciousness, unwilling to do what it takes to change this fucking world because we're unwilling to do what it takes to change ourselves as individuals. You can't have it both ways, people. So either bend over, pull your pants down, and allow yourself to continue to get raped and fucked up the ass by our governments, by the misleaders of the world, and just shut the fuck up and take it. Or you can rise and you can look in the sacred mirror and you can do the painful, challenging inner work, warrior's work to change yourself in every fucking program, every wound, every terrible behavioral program that you project onto other people. Heal your fucking narcissism. Heal your arrogance. Heal your know-it-all attitude so that you can come together in powerful divine energy with a bunch of us who need to come together to change this fucking world, because this world is pathetic and it sucks right now and it needs to be changed. And that isn't a fucking passive process. And guess what? Your wounds don't heal. Your trauma doesn't heal by being a pacifist. The things that you carry inside, all your ugly, all your unhealed trauma, all your shitty, nasty behavioral programs that you project onto other people, that you are scary to other people, that only heals when you do the work to heal yourself. You have to elevate out of that. You have to raise your frequency and learn what that means. And you don't need to do that by yourself. You have all the help and support in the fucking world. My entire soul mission is to do nothing but that for people. I am so driven and passionate about that I have 2 organizations that I run to help people get there, to change the macro out in the sadistic, misleading government, sociopathic, fucking patriarchal world. That's the Coalition of Oneness.org. That's the organization I'm president of. And it's also the Masters of Self University, Metaphysical University, to teach you all of the quantum energetics, all of the healing of the trauma for real. right? So there are systems in place. There are people, there are certified coaches of oneness. There are other people that are powerful, that are loving, that are good teachers that can help you if you don't know how to do it by yourself. So the resources exist, so you don't have an excuse. You can be a part of one or both or all or whatever other things that exist in the world that are magnificent and amazing that will help you, but be a part of something to make the change within yourself in order to make the change we need to see in the world. No more excuses. That's where we're at right now. See it for what it is. Do what your soul came here to do. Because at this stage of the game, at this time in our history, your soul didn't come here to just, be a singer or an artist or an entrepreneur or a fucking social media influencer. Give me a break. That's all your soul came here to do. Your soul didn't come here to do that. Your soul came here to completely fucking destroy this patriarchal prison system of fucking hell that we're in. And you can't do that if you yourself don't look in the sacred mirror and do the real inner work. It starts there. Only when you do that work can you dismantle out there what is a reflection of what's in here. Do you understand? That's what oneness is. So when I do the inner work on myself and I heal my entitlement, I won't see entitlement out there so much. That is a collective job. So we all have to do that. It isn't good enough for 1% or 0.03% of the entire fucking global population doing that. That's not enough. There needs to be more of us that understand it at this level. Do you understand? So we need to come together. We need to do the deep, dark shadow work on ourselves, and we need to do it for real. No more of this, I can't hack it. Oh, it's scary. Oh, no shit. Except that once you realize and connect to your divine power, it isn't scary anymore. What you realize is fear is a stream of consciousness. It's just an energetic frequency. It's there. It's very uncomfortable. It isn't fun to feel scared. It's not about don't get scared. That's here. Alchemize it. Raise your frequency. And actually learning what that means and how to do that, though. That's a process to become. That's the becoming. It's integrating this stuff, learning it and becoming it. As you become higher frequencies and you function in a very different way, that means you move in a different way. You relate to people in a different way. Your tolerance level goes fucking down. Listen, zero tolerance for violence, zero tolerance for murdering animals and torturing animals for fun because you're a sadistic psychopath. No more people like that in charge of anything. They shouldn't be in charge of anything, ever, no matter how small. They should be locked away, never be seen and heard from again. We need to round them up. Genocidal maniacs shouldn't exist in any kind of a leadership position. They need to be locked away in prison or a mental institution or both, a combination of both. We need to remove them from the planet. And we need to do the inner work that allows us to come together so that, number one, we heal all the programming that's conditioned, brainwashed, imprinted, ingrained in us that allow us to be so careless and with human life, but afraid to stand up and do the right thing. So powerless. Like that requires healing. You have to, do you understand that takes active participation in your own healing and your own evolution? You have to actively elevate yourself out of what you've been conditioned into. Do you comprehend that? It doesn't go away. You exist as you exist, your programming, your frequency. And until you choose and learn how to actually change that, it doesn't change. if you want to go change your name, you have to go legally go through the course. You have to actually take action to change your name. Do you understand? This is still a silly analogy, but I want to make this simple for you. The frequencies in your subconscious that run on autopilot, all of your programming, mental, emotional, behavioral, all of that runs on autopilot, literally fucking forever. That doesn't change. Even because you're aware of it doesn't change it. You becoming aware of it is the first step. You becoming the energetic observer of your own programming that is harmful, that is unloving, that is less than divine, that is scary and unsafe and terrorizing to other people. You becoming aware of that is the first step, because once you see it, that's when you have the opportunity energetically to alchemize it and actually transform it, transcend. Just you being aware of it doesn't change it. People are aware that they need to change their eating habits, their diet, and exercise more in order to get healthier, lose weight, become more fit. Just because you're aware that you need to do that, you don't automatically become more fit. Like you're still eating and putting just because you're aware that you shouldn't be shoving this in your mouth right now and eating it doesn't mean you don't do it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So just awareness alone. Now, awareness is critical. It's a critical first step, obviously. But I want you to I want you to gain discernment here. So becoming aware of your programming, becoming aware of how you are the scary one to other people in your life, how you're intimidating, becoming aware how your dog or dogs shake and go into another room. They're afraid because your energy is filled with fucking rage right now. You're a very unsafe person. Becoming aware of how you create these things in your relationship to make you feel unsafe. People don't want to be around you. To become aware of the traumas and the wounds that you have, to become aware of the entitlement that you have, to become aware of. That's the first step, but just that awareness alone does not transform and alchemize, change energy. Then you have to take the next step and the next step and the next step. And the more powerful you become, because you are elevating your frequency, you're healing, you are elevating your level of consciousness, that then reflects out to the world, to the macro. Do you understand? Those are the frequencies. Those are the elevated beings, the ones who are willing to change and will stop at nothing. And they will do whatever it takes to heal, to elevate, to rise, because they are tired of seeing and experiencing the suffering within themselves that they create for themselves, because they are unhealed, and what they see externally in the macro. Both exist, both need to be changed. One does not change the other in the sense that you can only change one and then the other one doesn't change. You have to change both. You have to focus on changing both. If you don't change internally and heal and elevate out of the programming that you have learned and been imprinted and conditioned through the patriarchy, all that terrorism, all that narcissism, all that psychopathy, all that misogyny, all the racism, all the inequality, all the dominance, all the violence, all of the entitlement, all of the things. You have to see how that's created you and impacted you. All the victim consciousness you need to get the fuck rid of. All the powerlessness. You have to heal that, otherwise it doesn't heal in the world. You can't just change policies in government and that's all you do. That's superficial, surface level. That does nothing. Hello? How many policies are we going to add to or change or amend over decades and decades and decades? And look at where we're at. Genocide continues to happen. Sadistic pedophile monsters rule the world. Nazi America is a real thing right now. Have we learned nothing? Like, it's embarrassing how little we've learned and how unwilling we are to take a stand and end all this for real, just to repeat the same fucking pattern a few decades later. Wars are ongoing. They always exist. Violence is always in existence on our planet because we refuse to grow up and grow out of things and change it and put an end to all of it. We need to end it. So I've given you the definition of a terrorist. I've read it to you. Go look it up yourself. Read it for yourself. Because the US government and other governments in the world are filled with terrorists. We are run by terrorists. That's who leads the fucking world. They're terrorists. And my challenge for you and my invitation for you is twofold to put an end to all of it. You have to look in the sacred mirror. How scary are you? How unsafe are you as an individual to other people around you, especially the people you live with, especially your loved ones? How scary are you? How unsafe are you? Do you understand what I'm teaching you today? How judgmental are you? How critical are you? How unloving are you? And that's looking in the sacred mirror. And it isn't to judge, and it isn't to blame, and it isn't to criticize, and it isn't to shame. It's to see as the way of truth. That needs to be healed. You don't heal that within yourself, it's not fucking possible to heal it outside in the rest of the world. You don't heal that within yourself, then it's not infused in your business, your organization, your job, your career, your soul's mission, your passion, what you do recreationally. Like, you are you. You take you with you wherever you go. Wherever you go, there you are. So if you don't want those things to come with you, and you don't want those things to be in your reality or your experience, and you don't want to see it in the whole rest of the world any longer, you have to change it within yourself, and you have to command and demand the fucking change out there. Both have to exist simultaneously. Both have to be elevated, transformed, alchemized, healed, changed, transcended at the same time. Micro, macro, macro, micro. Do you understand? We have to stop being so fucking scary to other people, to other animals and beings. We have to stop being scary in our everyday lives to the people that are around us in our own personal relationships. And then we have to command and demand and have zero fucking tolerance for other people in the world being scary and intimidating and terrorizing other beings, dogs, animals, nature, women, children, other men. It is enough. But that doesn't happen if we don't first become it ourselves. This isn't about being hypocritical. I demand it out there because I'm entitled, but I'm not going to change myself. That's the old fucking world of hypocrisy, and that's patriarchy, that level of entitlement. That's what we're here to end. Do you understand? So it's blatantly obvious. There's no debating whether ICE, those are terrorists. Those people that have that job, they're fucking terrorists. Our government filled with terrorists. Other governments in the world run by terrorists. Those are the terrorists. They are terrifying. They are terrorizing civilians, innocent people, animals, nature. That's what they are. So my invitation to you is to see where you're scary to other people. How unsafe are you to other people? Because you need to heal that terrorist part of you that's inside of you. You get road rage? Do you flip out? Do you lose your shit? Do you criticize the people you claim to love and care about? Do you flip out and get defensive when your partner wants to express something they're unhappy about? That's terrorist. That's terrorizing. Yeah, it's on a lower level. Maybe you're not shooting your partner in the fucking face, but energetically, you're shooting them down all the time when you're an unsafe person that cannot lovingly have a mature conversation about your fucking relationship or about whatever. Do you understand? Micro is macro, macro is micro. And the entitlement that you can waltz around and do whatever the fuck you want, show up however you fucking want in your relationships, in your business. I don't care. Again, it doesn't matter the type of relationship, with your children, with your animals, with your spouses, with your businesses, your business partners, your colleagues. How unsafe are you? How afraid are people to say what they need to say? Because they're afraid of your fucking reaction. What is your knee-jerk reaction to things in life? And how fucking dare you not change that, heal that, knock that shit off, and then expect something out there like ICE and sadistic monsters who rule the world to change and be different? That's hypocritical. You're an entitled fuck. And I'm a radical teacher of oneness consciousness. I'm here to show you the truth of all of this so that you can change it. Because we each have to change it as individuals. And as we elevate, as we heal, as we change, we invite more and more people to join us to do the real warrior's work at evolving our human consciousness to loving beings, peaceful beings, beings that reflect the way of harmony, the way of unconditional love, the way of patience, the way of surrender, which means flow with other people, not reactionary, entitled assholes that we learn how to be, but the way of responsibility. What is my responsibility in this scenario right now? Number one, it's always to heal and elevate yourself. And then it's putting an end to the terrorism that you see out there, the terrorizing behavioral programs that people are demonstrating when they are in positions of power. Do you understand that it is both? It isn't one or the other. It's both. And so when we become beings of oneness consciousness, we become the way of responsibility, patience, surrender, truth, presence, connection, compassion, harmlessness, and gentleness. Oh, what a world we would live in if we all elevated to that frequency. That's number 8 out of 20. That's just number 8, harmlessness and gentleness. Because equality, which is number 9, cannot and does not exist anywhere in your relationship, in your family, in your community, in your state, in your country, in the world. Equality doesn't fucking exist when you do not first become harmlessness and gentleness, because only when you are harmlessness and gentleness, when you're a safe person in every way, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, physically, sexually, you're safe. Only when you're safe, harmlessness and gentleness, does equality ever begin to express itself and flow through the planet. If you're a harmful person, equality doesn't exist. If there's a lack of safety, equality cannot exist. If you are dangerous, equality cannot exist. Do you understand? So of all those ways of oneness, you develop harmlessness and gentleness, and then equality organically starts to flow and be created on the planet. And then trust begins to flow. That's number 10. And then we can learn how to become the way of honoring of others, all others. Honoring does not mean tolerating brutality. That's not honoring. Oh, I'm going to honor you for who you are, but you're a rapist. Nope, not honoring, because it's not honoring of the victims that person is brutalizing and terrorizing. Do you understand how much we need to learn about what it means to evolve and become beings of oneness consciousness? Being selfish isn't honoring yourself. You're selfish, which means you're harming other people. The way of selfless service. So you learn what it means to become the way of honoring, which is number 11 out of 20, before you could ever actually show up as the way of selfless service, which is number 12. Only when you understand what it means to become the way of selfless service can you evolve into the way of loyalty, which is number 13. The way of loyalty means loyalty to divinity itself, loyalty to harmlessness and gentleness, loyalty to presence, loyalty to connection, loyalty to, do you understand? It means I'm loyal to the way of responsibility, meaning being a responsible person in this situation, this scenario, this example, this relationship, this business transaction, that I'm responsible. I'm loyal to being responsible. Do you understand this? Only when we develop the enlightened definition and become the enlightened definition of loyalty. I'm loyal to my own healing. I'm loyal to raising my own level of consciousness. I'm loyal to healing my neediness and codependency bullshit. That's the way of loyalty. Do you understand? I'm loyal to every single way of oneness and becoming every single way of oneness up until the way of loyalty, number 13. Only when I achieve that do I ever start to experience the way of unconditional love. Until then, you don't fucking know what love is. And when I get to experience the way of unconditional love organically, that kind of thrusts me to a higher, more elevated frequency, which is the way of humility. The way of humility leads me to number 16, the way of integrity. Integrity leads one to the way of forgiveness. Forgiveness is I've healed everything and elevated and become all of these incredible universal ways of oneness. So there's nothing left to forgive. I just exist with the I am presence. And that's not even the final way of oneness or the highest frequency. The next is the way of purity. I learned how to purify every single thing that is evil, dark, shadow, self, less than divine. And when I can learn how to purify my own self, my own frequencies, my intentions, my attitude, my behavior, then I can elevate all the way to become the way of wisdom. How is that possible? Organically, it naturally happens because I've learned all of these things. I've become all of these things. How am I possibly not a wise person at this stage of the game? And once I can live as the way of wisdom and I can become this wise being, only then do I start to experience what it means to create, live in, live as the way of harmony, number 20 out of 20 universal ways of oneness. This is our role. This is our responsibility. This is our soul mission collectively to create this on the planet now. And we can't create this and activate this on the planet and create a new earth in this sense if we don't become it ourselves as individuals. Do you now see the vital importance of becoming a being of oneness consciousness? Healing and elevating yourself so that you can heal and elevate what this world is. Because what this world is currently is unacceptable. No one should tolerate what the fuck they see in this world. And yet, you can't change it if you don't become first what you want to see reflected out in the external world. You have to be willing to become. So, as somebody who is becoming a being of oneness consciousness, I ask that you like this video, you subscribe, you comment, you share, do your part so other people can learn this as well. Go to mastersofselfuniversity.com, enroll as a student at our university. Go to coalitionofoneness.org. Be a part of that mission so that we can create a world that is safe, that is loving, that is the way of harmony, that is the new earth and what we're supposed to be in this lifetime. I look forward to working with you in that sense, in a more elevated sense. Thank you for listening. Always appreciated. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.